The chocolate cake review will commence shortly. We value your custom. Please stay on the line. Thank you for waiting. The chocolate cake review will commence shortly. We do value your custom. Press 9 to hear this message again. Press 1754 762 #5 to speak to customer service. Congratulations, the cake reviewer is now in attendance.
Not quite. Who's there? Is there
Oh,
someone
hang on,
there
I'll
already?
press that button again. Thank you for waiting. The chocolate cake review will begin shortly. We do value your custom. Hello, can I help you?
How many people got in there? 100?
I think there's a lady by the name of Awesome Hooker.
Hey, Awesome. Yoo-hoo. We've got a grandchild tonight, Awesome.
Chocolate cake review. We've seen these for a couple of weeks. They're new at our local store, and of course, the wife spotted it on discount. Our grandson has his bowl ready and 2 forks. I'm not sure what that's for.
That's for you and I to share. And
Oh, okay.
William wants his inside, obviously, so he can play his game.
Don't you hate those messages? You phone up. There you go. Thank you for calling. Please be advised all our representatives are currently in the coffee house drinking or alcoholic beverages. They will be in attendance shortly. The wait time expected is 3 weeks.
What are you going on about?
Right, there you go. Knife, you can cut open the box. Do you want me to cut the box?
No.
Hang on, she's taking it out.
Leave it
Yeah,
there.
but I can't. I'll have to adjust.
Well,
But hold it. It's all right.
why am I cutting the box?
Yes.
I stuck my fingers in it.
She got a cardboard cut.
No, I stuck my fingers in the cake.
Right.
Oh my god, how cute is that? Are you there, Awesome?
What's look at extra? Oh, I think icing's falling off.
Oh yeah, it has. Look, it's stuck in there.
Like shit to a blanket.
Awesome. There's my hand.
It's not a very big cake. Hello, MB. Would
Hey,
you like
MB.
a slice? Do you want to put it on the plate and cut it?
No. Oh yeah, okay.
So it'll be easier. Sorry, man's logic.
What a man's logic. Gee. I'm cutting it just like that?
I don't know.
Yep, because William will want this.
Edgy bit with all the icing. Bring it a bit closer. It's got chocolate within chocolate and a whole heap of icing.
I think it's going to be rich. That's why it's so little.
Not that small, but it is smaller than your average cake. I'll give you that. Right, so you're having 6 slices and I'm having that on one on the end, am I?
No, you... Yeah, which one you want? Actually, we don't need forks. Give William's to him in a minute.
I have to make a cup of shortly. I usually eat cake with a coffee, but you can do a review if you like. Here we go.
Oh, chocolate. It's going to be good.
Is it dry? Crunchy?
That's probably a little bit dry. Could do with some cream, but that's really rich chocolate. was awesome. Here, have a bite, MB. Have a bite.
Yeah. Right.
You have a bit.
I'll give you a review. Here is a piece of
That's
chocolate
nice.
cake.
A roux would be nice with some whipped cream.
Doesn't look that dry. It's very rich. Not so much the icing, but the chocolate. It's very chocolatey cake.
That's why it's a small cake.
No one can see that. What are you showing them?
How small the box is.
Okay. All those crumbs, you did that.
Plain it up.
Huh?
Good.
Huh? There's actually 6 pieces left, or 6 pieces. So I want you to reach through your screens. I want you to use the force. Reach out. Pick a piece up. Take it back with you. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I suppose it's worth $4 normal price.
Alright, I'm just going to go and give William his.
Right, can you bear me a little glass of milk back because I'm a bit dry eating this chocolate. I don't know who said strawberries, but I think that would be a go, like, you know, fresh strawberries cut on top. That'd be nice. We've got another cake inside, which we won't open tonight, but it's a carrot cake. That's what I like. It's got some nice white icing on it. I don't eat a lot of cake, as a general rule. Thank you, Buttercup. I just think, you know, sliced, nice, fresh, juicy strawberries on top, embedded in the chocolate. Yeah, I've tried red velvet. It's a bit, that is rich. I think a cake that size in red velvet would be about $8 here. But there's not many bakers that make cakes anymore, you know. The one I went to, we had breakfast recently, just a few days ago. Took a couple of grandkids there, and they had a magnificent range of cakes and savoury items. It was like a 1970s retro cafe. I had poached eggs and smoky bacon, and it was yum. And for all, there were 3 adults and 2 kids. Food came to about $60, and the drinks were about $30, I think.
Okay.
So that wasn't too bad. Thank you. I have a cup of milk. Yeah, cake just tends to stick to the top of my roof of my mouth. I'm sure you could get it, Buttercup. Let me bring you closer to the chocolate. I think that bit's awesome. There's a bit missing out of that one. Actually reached through the camera and just grabbed it. That was nice. Bit of change. I was nearly going to make rice pudding tonight, but I couldn't find the bloody rice. So chocolate cake it is. No, chocolate. I know that even in Germany, bread's the main thing. It'd be the same in Belgium. When we walked around the cities in Germany, everybody in the morning had a cup of coffee, a pretzel, or just bread. That's how most Europeans start their day. Italians are not much different.
I don't even think I'd left the room when he finished the cake.
He wants another piece?
Oh, he can wait.
He'll want another piece.
Of course he would. Is it a good picture of the cake, or should I lay it down a bit to tease people?
Oh, I don't care. The icing's not too bad. Like sometimes the icing can be quite rich. That's not, but the cake is rich.
Actually, that's true, and the icing isn't as sweet as normal. It's quite nice.
Yes, Buttercup, my favourite rice pudding, and I'll make one, I'll do a video of one. I always end up with the skin on it. What I do is I half cook it in the oven, and it's already formed a little bit of a skin, and I crunch all that up. Then I put it back in again, a little bit of nutmeg on top. Do it again, you get all these little crunchy little towers on the second cook. Takes, you know, I only cook it slow. It takes about 3 hours to cook a good rice pudding, because you have it on about 140, which I think is about 270F or 280F or something like that. So very slow and long, which I know most women appreciate in cooking, of course. Yeah, so is that icing all the way around? Oh no, it's not. It's only icing on top. That's the edge. Probably would go with ice cream.
I just read Awesome's Red Velvet. When we were at that place having breakfast that morning, my God, Awesome, you want to see the red velvet cake they had in there? I don't know, how big's that?
You mean at the cafe we're at?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
how big's that? It
Oh,
was
it
that
was
big.
about 10 inches tall at least. Big and Black Forest. It was really a 1970s cafe, which was mainly like a lot of women went for morning tea at cafes like that. The dogs were allowed, water bowls down for the dogs, retro tables and chairs and furniture. And even the garb that the women wore and the guys wore was like 70s. But unfortunately, they weren't 1970s prices.
Yes.
But it was fair value for money. Now, if you come away with 5 people eating a good breakfast for under $100, you're doing pretty well. I mean, most restaurants or hotels we've ever stayed in, breakfast is $30 or $35 each. Hello, Kathy. We've left a bit of chocolate cake for you. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. In a fairly good hotel, you can have whatever you like, but if you go down for breakfast, it's 30 or 35. That's Australian dollars, so maybe, I don't know, €20
For what?
a good breakfast. Like, you know, when you go down and pick whatever you like from a breakfast menu, like we did in there. But mind you, we've had complimentary breakfasts. Mind you, it's in the price of the room, you know what I mean? But any other place you just walk in off the street to go in a hotel, you can have breakfast there, but it's easy $30 a head.
Depends. Then it starts at 18. Depends on what you pick. If you go continental or full.
Oh, I've never been a continental, you know, Rice Krispies, milk, fruit.
Yeah, that's all right for me.
And a lot of, all over Europe, we saw that it was pretty similar. You'd have, depends where you went, but you'd have sausages, eggs, bacon. If you're in the UK, you'd have Yorkshire pudding sometimes. Bread in Germany, and cheeses, 40 per day.
Oh yeah.
Euro, oh, that'd be about close to 60. That's pretty normal.
$40 per person. That's expensive.
About 60 quid, about $120 for breakfast. But
That's expensive
well, Ambi only eats at the best places.
per person.
She eats at the best places for 4 days of the week, then it's the Salvation Army for the remaining
No,
3.
I don't mind paying for a nice breakfast. Food's good and yummy and choice. I have no problem with that.
No, we never complain about eating out.
But
We choose to go, we pay the price.
But you know, there's a cut-off point. Gets to a point like that gets ridiculous.
Well, sometimes with you in particular, because, I mean, I will eat a cooked breakfast. But sometimes you go, nah, I'll just have toast. And it's like, all right, so you pay 30 quid for toast.
Exactly.
Yep, about 60, yep. Bacon or chocolate?
Well,
Chocolate bacon. What's wrong with chocolate bacon?
yeah, I agree. Awesome. That seems pretty expensive, MB. Is that what you paid where you were staying when you went away?
I think the average price is about 30 where we stayed. For
No,
breakfast.
look, I had a look. One of them was only 18 per person.
I don't know, some of the places we stayed was higher, like at that country estate overlooking the hills. That was something like, well, I think our dinner was about 100, but that was nice. I had filet mignon. No, actually, we never did any video about that dinner, did we? Too busy eating the damn thing.
No, because sometimes I'm careful how or where I video. Like,
We were
when you-
sitting near
when
a
you're-
fireplace on really old furniture, which was beautiful. Silverware. That came my filet mignon. I think you had chicken, I can't remember.
Was that where we were all?
You know, when the Irish lady sat down outside with us, that place.
Oh, that place was expensive. Yes.
I mean, drinks were about 12 or 14.
Oh yeah, 4-5 star.
Yeah, oh, we
Yeah.
don't. Well, we don't. We generally will order an evening meal. Hello, I missed someone.
Yes, Luis.
Louis, hello. Louise.
Louise. I'm just gonna go check the grandson.
Take another piece of chocolate cake. It's an emergency.
I'll give him.
Give him that one. He likes
Give it
the
that
outside
one.
edge. Oh, there's only 4 bits left. Could be a riot on.
I mean, I don't have to take chicken. He's old enough to.
Oh no, he's not a baby. See, with my old eyes, I'd have to say it's Lewis, but it's not. It's a lady, so Louise, I guess, but grammatically it's loss. I'm lost for words. Had a nice stir fry for dinner. Wasn't going to happen, but I found some cheap veg. How was your stir fry?
Huh?
How was your stir fry this evening?
That was good.
Yum.
But for some reason, the chili sauce seemed hotter than usual.
I did put a wee tiny little bit of crushed chili in.
Oh, that's what
No,
it was.
but
No,
that's
you
not-
put- I knew it.
Oh,
I
here she
knew
goes.
it.
Here we go. Listen to this.
I had enough
Whinge,
now to
whinge,
make chili
whinge.
sauce.
Whinge, whinge, whinge. It was crushed chili, and it's not hot. It's just the flavour. Here we go. Ready? You ready? Here it comes.
I taste things different to you. Things are hotter for me than
But-
they are
But
for
your first
you.
statement was correct. Every now and then, when you have your sweet chili, sometimes it's quite hot.
I know, but it was hotter than normal, and I said that to you tonight, and then you just said now.
MB says congratulations on it. She's done a good job of those, hasn't
Oh,
she?
thanks, MB.
Warwick Castle is the latest video she's done. That's the place I love best. It was stunning. Everything was genuine. Everything was period placed. Each room had a meaning. And we love that sort of stuff. I do. I love it completely. Like the history of that particular room. Henry VIII did certain things in certain parts of Warwick Castle. Yeah, just the history and the actual materials were so well preserved. You get fairly close to them, but you can't touch them. Lois.
Lloyd.
Lois sounds like she's from New York. What's your name? My name's Lois.
Yeah, I'm like awesome. I don't like to pronounce names wrong, but sometimes I do, and I apologise.
No,
Lloyd.
I don't think anyone does it intentionally. You just say it how you read it. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to Warwick Castle, you'll understand why I was blown away. It is stunning, is the only word you could use.
I mean, we went to a lot of castles, and Cardiff Castle was brilliant.
Mm.
That's hard choice between Cardiff and Warwick,
Oh no, I think Warwick stands out because of what they've done.
and then the birds as well.
But that was at Warwick Castle as well.
Yeah.
When I was still a young girl, I wore jeans called Lewis. What else did she say? Your name reminds me of that, of tight jeans on my ass. So can you still fit into them? Just asking. Jeans. I mean, I don't remember the last time I wore a pair of jeans. I've got good pants and I've got those
Yeah, about 2 years
those
ago.
canvas pants I wear,
Oh.
but jeans are very sort of 70s, aren't they? When you think about the era where they were really popular. I still have the same size. Well, I reckon you must be a size 000, being a pixie. Hang on, I'll get her out of my pocket. How you going there, all right? Yeah, I'm going all right. Stop talking about my jeans. All right, okay. But she's going to the chapel. And she's going to get married. Well, she might not be going to a chapel. She may. My little pixie. Nothing wrong with being nicknamed something very, cute and tiny with tiny little wings. That's a pretty good nickname. But your good friend's obviously coming back for the wedding. It's a church, but hey, potato. So she's your flower girl. I mean, I know you will eventually, and I wouldn't ask to see it now. But you certainly have a wonderful wedding dress. Doesn't have to be traditional. Can be. I don't particularly like white wedding dresses, to be honest with you. It seems ever so rigid. Like being rock, if you know what I mean. Of course she is. This will be the wedding of the year. I don't think there'll be a live telecast. It's a very private event. But I'm sure we'll get to see some pictures and stuff. Nice. I like ivory. No, it's not the colour. I just don't like white as a wedding dress. It's just me. I've seen beautiful ivory satin. I've seen even like cerise. But I believe nothing to do with age at all. I just that sounds like it's satin to me. That would be beautiful ivory. And I imagine the honeymoon's going to be spectacular. You'll both go away for at least 4 hours. That's what I reckon your honeymoon will consist of. 4 hours. Right, back to work. White lace dress. Yeah, it's sort of traditional, isn't it? But me, it's just me. I've seen a few weddings where there has been ivory, cerise, and some other colour. A very, very, very light lime. And these two were first weddings. They just weren't traditionalists. I think it's up to it really is up to the bride. I don't care what anyone says. Doesn't matter if the bride wants to wear a bloody bikini, let her wear a bikini. And I've seen a bikini wedding, by the way, but that is strictly a woman's prerogative as to what she wears. My mum's had to be silver blue. That sounds beautiful. Yeah, no, you don't have to share anything with it at all. Maybe in a private video, you can give us like a little photo cachet of what happened and the events and stuff. What are the crackers for?
For the birds, they're a bit stale.
Oh, they're for the morning.
I forgot about them, yeah.
Our birds really suffer. They're having some crackers tomorrow morning. Actually, I like some of them. You reckon they're all stale? Oh well.
Yes, they are, because I know what date they were.
Now, I have no doubt this is just because I know MB enough to suggest there would be a headpiece involved. Would I be correct, MB? I just can't see you wearing just the dress. I imagine there's a, and I don't say this facetiously, a small tiara perhaps?
I'm just reading back my comments. Awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%.
Your dress sounds nice that you wore.
I think the missus has put a bit up of our wedding, but not anything
No,
a lot. No, because our marriage was a medieval marriage. Everybody, bar one person, came dressed in medieval garb. It was really good. Yep. Awesome says I'll never get married again. Took too long to break this damn one in.
Buttercup says she doesn't know if she could be bothered to get married again either.
Marriage has got nothing to do with the equation. It's love. I'm sure, without doubt, the good man Ben and MB wouldn't have to get married, but they choose to. It's I believe, an offering of completeness. But people can live together for many decades without getting married. It is traditional to marry, but that tradition is virtually gone, I believe. It's like a diam, so I can't read. Diadem with the same flower. Yep, I just can't see you not having a headpiece. I think every union is tested at times, and I think every union, through its resilience of complete offering, is different. I mean, you can marry anyone. I know people who've been married a dozen times. Some people cannot be alone. Do you know what I mean? They just can't. But it's a celebration of their union. They choose to do it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Prince Harry, Meghan, a few of the others will be there. We won't be there because I haven't got any really good brand new black shoes to go with my brand new black suit. Yeah, that's an old thing that people say, isn't it awesome? They're either married or gay. I don't think that's really true. 30 years, yeah. That's a long time.
Oh, next month, awesome. In August, is it? No, hang on. Where
Yep.
are we?
That's the secret.
Yeah.
Lois, that is the secret. My wife is my best friend. But things like that, in particular, other than obviously this is the public forum we're on now, the event itself should be very private. You share that with family and friends. That's what that event is for. The fact that people know you're getting married is no big deal. For you it isn't, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like all of a sudden the media will be inundating it on YouTube and all that crap. That's not going to happen.
Paparazzi.
Paparazzi, yeah.
So I'm going to take a guess at Awesome's wedding anniversary, August the 9th.
August the 9th? He needs to deal with me. You're talking about alcohol?
No, husband.
Yep. Loyalty. But if you noticed, well, we don't have a big hangout, we never do, but we don't have any pretentious people come here. Mainly because all of you and I will shoot them down in flames.
Oh, September
Which-
24th. Oh, that's not next month, Awesome. You threw me.
Anyone can say I like you. They can, Buttercup.
I love ya.
And when I tell you that I like you, yeah. And when I say I like you, do 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 do, ah ah.
The race is on. You're going to slip up one day between Awesome and Nicole.
No,
Or Danny G.
no, it's a very precious word for me. And I don't have to follow
I know.
anyone else's
But it's
guidelines.
also fun stirring you up.
Well, it
It's just
doesn't,
so easy.
the thing, it doesn't stir me up. I just am adamant in my stance. It was on the same date. August the 7th, we met 24. I see. Oh, I see, Awesome. So you stuffed up.
Okay, so August the 7th we met 24 years ago. September 24th you were married 22 years. Okay.
Well, that was a quick courtship.
It's ironic the year that, well, I don't know if that's the right word actually. The year you and I met was 9/11.
Yeah, it was.
It was actually the same month. It was a couple of days before it happened. Yes,
yeah,
it was.
I think so, yeah.
It was a couple of days before 9/11 happened. That the first time we met.
Oh, I see, because he was leaving the country and he thought, I'm having this one. He's not getting away. Fair enough. Just thinking where the honeymoon would be. I'm thinking it's summer now. How did I propose? You want to get hooked up or what?
Yeah.
All right then.
Actually, how did you propose?
I said, will you be my wife?
Yeah, actually, I was lying in bed.
Yep. You were probably naked. Mind you, the 7 pigs I had to come up with was pretty tough. There's the dowry. Hooker says she was naked.
Ooh.
Mykonos. I was going to say it had to be either Rome or Greece. That's what I was thinking. And at that time of the year, it will be warm, of course, but beautiful. I'm sure you'll have somewhere overlooking the ocean. Probably a nice Casablanca. Yeah, so do the people rowing across the ocean. They like Mykonos. It's had an incredible, and a lot of sadness involved with that, with refugees. But beautiful part of the world. Not too far from where I was born. Actually, a fair way, but I was born in Malta. That is also very beautiful. He proposed on his knee, gave me his dog tags as my engagement ring. Couldn't afford a ring. What, you couldn't afford a Coke ring bottle?
Oh, that's so sweet. See, stories like that, I like hearing. It's very cute.
Some people have romantic songs involved with their playing my song. What are your songs? I'll tell you what ours is after you tell me yours. Do you have a song? What's your songs? When you sit in a cafe or on board a nice yacht or on the edge of the Riviera and that song plays
Riviera.
and you say, they're playing our song.
It
No,
goes.
what you consider your song between two people.
Like when you meet someone or get engaged or married or not everybody, most people have a song they call their song.
He has tried to buy me a ring for years. I still wear those tags today. Now, a ring's not that important. It's a visual thing, I suppose. And I imagine, because I know MB a little bit, that you'll have a two-piece wedding ring. Would I be correct? I can see a little kink in the bottom one coming up to the diamond on top. Didier Bevillion, LA. Ah, very nice, very romantic. Of course, ours is very romantic. Our song, when we hear it play, we say, they're playing our song. And it goes, brings a tear to my eye. No, I haven't seen, honestly. That is two pieces. The wedding ring is going to complete the set in a way. That's what I thought. I know things, MB. I see it as a little cusp coming up to the wedding ring. That's what I see. And I'm pretty sure in my mind I can see white gold. Could be wrong. No, no need to be frightened. My wife has abilities, and so do I. There's no malevolence. Here's all white. That's nice. Buttercup's got to make a cup and find me some damn cake.
Okay, just make us a cuppa and I'll give you a cake, Buttercup.
I'll give you another example. Are you here, awesome?
He's awesome. Oh, our song. Okay, I'm going to go to it.
All right, the wife is going to go and have a look at your song.
But I won't.
I see in Awesome's house, somewhere in that house, a duck.
Oh, I love that song, Awesome.
What is it?
Shaggy.
Oh.
Angel. Shaggy Angel. I love that song. I won't put it loud because
A
it
duck.
might. Angel,
You know, with the beak. With the beak.
Angel.
You have several. Okay.
My angel, you're my darling. I can't sing, sorry. I love that song.
I can't work out the song with you singing it, I'm
Oh,
afraid.
yeah, I know, 'cause I can't sing. I'm not in tune. I can't. I don't
Oh,
want to play
Wabba
it.
Lewis had to refresh. That means you put new underwear on, something more comfortable, a little bit of eyeshadow, and a large piece of cake. So I know you're very busy people, MB. Are you at least having a week in Mykonos? Are you going to give yourself at least a week? Wait for that cat to appear again.
I was doing my Winston Churchill video. I haven't finished it. And remember when we were in Oxford?
12 days, beautiful.
Remember we were in Oxford and I filmed. There was that cemetery in the middle of the street, but you couldn't actually walk into it because it's all
Yeah,
closed off.
yeah, all fenced off.
So I filmed it, but straight after took a photo. Now my filming, it's all misty. The photo is perfectly clear.
We have a very good friend where we used to live north of here by about 500 kilometres. And she sent some surveillance. They have security cameras. Most people do. She had surveillance cameras of the garage was one, wasn't it? And where else was the other one?
Around the side of the house.
Around the side. And you can clearly see an image, an outline of a person. You can't see the person.
You can see
the-
them walking. You can see
Very,
2 steps.
very bright lights.
You can see the legs.
So they're part of the world that we're not part of, and we get to see a time slide of them. Ah, that's good. Songs have great meaning. You'll find certain words and certain songs embellish themselves on you because
Yes.
they do have great meaning.
A lot of people just music's music, but I listen to words. Some strike me more than others, and it's the same with just music with no words. So I'm very choosy with what music I put in my videos.
We'll get a good stereo system. I want to be able to listen to music out on the back area as well as inside.
There's heaps of other.
Oh, gee, you sound like someone stole your Harley.
It is a good song, Awesome.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
That's a different
That-
song.
That's a Harley. Did he steal your Harley?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Just well, you got the quacker left.
Better ask him if he needs a helmet.
Yeah. One things the Greeks like to do is eat.
Oh hey, darling.
You make me happy when times are great. Hello, Dory Lynn. Please don't take my sunshine away. She spends hours doing these videos. I tell you, I'm not kidding, I'm not lying, hours.
Yeah. It's amazing how certain songs sort of come to you with certain things happen or whatever.
She's going to be craving chocolate cake. Take a piece. It's yours. Quick, email it to her. Greek food is wonderful, and it's not slop. There is some things that you see on the bottom of YouTube that are said to be Greek, but trust me, the Greeks take a great deal of pride in their food. Not me, I was being very generous. I'm going to email you all 4 pieces.
Tomorrow night will be carrot cake.
That's my favourite, actually.
Actually, it was one of those days today, Awesome. I'll whisper it so no one else can hear, but only you hear it, Awesome. I bought lots of chocolate today too. I was naughty.
Our energy within all of us is incredibly powerful. Very much so.
Oh yeah, definitely. Songs coming to your head when it's related to somebody. Most definitely Awesome. Yes. No, you're not a weirdo. Songs or smells, scents is another thing that... Like
Yeah.
I was talking to my girlfriend the other day. When we got on the phone, we were on there for 5 to 7 hours, I tell you.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's true.
she was talking about... I don't know, I can't remember what she was talking... And all of a sudden I got this amazing... Well, not amazing. This overpowering smell
In the middle of the night.
of cigars. And I told her, and she said... And then she went on to say... I described the smell because I know all cigars smell differently, and then something else. And then she went on, everything I was saying was to do with her grandfather.
It's like when people doubt themselves. You know, the self-doubt that hangs over all of us.
Just going to check the grandbaby.
And you worry about the smallest of things and how people perceive you. You know, when they look at you, you think, what are they thinking? There's only one thing you really need to know, is that you are indeed, without doubt, unique on this planet. There may be someone similar to you, but not like you at all. So each one of us are special. And I mean that in a real honest sense. That it doesn't matter tall, short, fat, skinny, black, white, green, whatever. It's irrelevant because every one of us has something to contribute and we are all individually special. And if someone tells you otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. Hello, chicken. Hello. Thought you might be getting tired of the cake, Lewis. No, I do see it actually, MB. There's no need for it though. You don't have to live in other people's minds, their way. Live your way. Banger chat, never heard of it. We're all connected. We're all part of something wonderful. We're all individual parts of that, but the sum of it makes it one. So, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They're part of it as well. You know the old saying, you have your time to shine. I don't really believe that you have a time to shine. I believe you can shine for a very long time. You may go a little bit dull, and then you get bright again. 3 a.m. Dory, what are you doing? Never heard of them, to be honest. Banger chat, do they talk about other people? She said, he said, I said, they said, and they said it again? Remincing. Oh, yeah, it must have been Dory just said remincing of 2:15. Yeah. So he said, she said, they said, and I said, and I didn't believe a word I said, but I said it anyway. Yeah, I don't, because what I will have a go at someone. Don't get me wrong. You've seen me have a go at people, but I don't go out of my way to make someone else's life a misery. Would never do it. because most people that I would think of them like that have a miserable existence anyway.
Took it off the chocolate cake.
Well, I thought they're getting a bit chocolated out.
Never.
Oop, lead battery, 20%.
Awesome, I'll be doing a hangout shortly.
But it's quite normal to have self-doubt. I've had it, and you've had it, but you shouldn't hang on to it. It's not something you should carry around with you. It has to be cast adrift eventually, and just accept who you are and what your existence is. Yeah, I don't worry about what other people think of me. I don't worry about what other people expect of me. I don't worry about what people's beliefs are of me, because
I did that.
I'm me. Yeah, it's getting a bit scraggy. I've got to cut under here a bit, and then I can be really sort of... Yeah, hair's getting annoying. It's getting longer, but... Yeah, I know most of the people, as does Dory, from the beginning. I never involved myself for a very, very long time at all. And I sort of got slingshotted into it, but the truth of the matter is I know most everybody on here.
Who's
Yeah.
Dana?
I know what you mean, Dory. I'm not an expert in that field at all. I do know making real friends in real life has real substance. And I'm not saying any of you have no substance, but you understand what I mean. I could count on my hand probably 3 very good friends. Do you know what I mean? And I probably have thousands of associates, but 3 very good friends. Move to a new town and being older. Yeah, you're going to be the outsider, Dory. It's worse in Australia. Seriously, you could have come to a country town when you were 3 with your parents, and they'll pass away, and eventually you've been there for 50 years, and you're still an outsider because you weren't born there. Where do real friends live? There, Dory. Right there. You don't question it. You don't perceive anything would ever come between you and your friends. And if they do, they're not your friends. There are so many fair weather friends on YouTube. I just sit back and shake my head. Like, someone meets someone in 2 minutes and suddenly we're the best of friends. You know, chase me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and we're now the best of friends. When I meet you? Thursday.
Awesome said it
I
before.
met you Thursday.
You get a connection with some people, whether you meet them online or in real life, because it can happen any time, anywhere. And a lot of stuff that people say, oh, you can't make this shit up, or things happen on YouTube. Go exploring the world. Things happen in real life.
No,
the
I
same.
understand that, but I'm saying you should be very circumspect and discerning when you think you should help someone, for example. And what do I mean by that? Well, there are so many warning signs that a lot of people miss. And I don't mind someone giving someone money, don't get me wrong. But generally when it's under a false pretense, or it's misleading information, or it's deceptive, I have a problem with that.
Yeah, about 2012.
Yep.
Maybe even before.
At least
Dory.
7 years, Dory.
Yeah.
Dory is a wonderful woman. She's
another
she
one.
won't mind me telling you she's done it tough.
And she's another one who can do good videos and whatever, but just doesn't do them.
Very artistic.
Yes. Hey, Dory.
But you should never give yourself to completely strangers that you don't know. Money's pretty irrelevant in life, in the big picture. Okay, money is important, don't get me wrong. But in the big picture, it's not as important as having loved ones, friends. In my life, I could tell you some stories. I mean, I was a very young boy when my parents left home. I'll let that sink in for a minute. I was 11 when my parents left home.
No, you were younger.
Oh, that's right, I was about
You were
10.
8.
About 8 then. And I fended for myself for a long time.
Well, there you go, Dory. You film turkeys, put music to it, and whack it up on YouTube.
I find turkeys so funny.
Yes.
I really do find turkeys funny. Because they're like guard dogs and they gobble, gobble, gobble. I was 16, that's right, I remember the story you told me. But it's like, I don't blame my past on any behaviours I may have unleashed in my life. They're my behaviours. Doesn't matter where or what circumstance your life was, there are certain things that certainly plague you, your own demons if you like. But if you can shake them off in later life, like get therapy or speak to some good friends, you can certainly then realise that life is not that bad.
Another thing.
You can never forget horrendous things that have happened, but you can put them on a shelf.
You can learn from
Do you know what I
them.
mean? You can just, okay, well, you go up there. You're not following me around. I know you're there. I know what happened, and you're sitting up on that shelf now, and so I'm going this way. Because sometimes we let the burdens of the past dictate our future, which usually leads you down the same path. There's a lot of repetition in, give you a great example, in families that have got alcoholics as parents. A lot of the time, kids become alcoholics.
Well, 1 in 4.
But yeah, but the choice is there.
And a lot of people don't.
All right, MB, you have a good
I'll
one.
see you, MB.
Looking forward to the big day, and I hope you have, if we don't catch you between then and now, have a wonderful day.
People forget about using their intuition as well.
There's quite a few channels I no longer go to because I can see clearly now, and I always give people enough rope. I don't judge straight away that they are deceptive and misleading. You have to get Mrs. E's. I posted a video on my Facebook page. There you go.
I've got you on YouTube. Don't think I have you on Facebook.
Just go to Mystic's channel, Dory, and just drop a link to your Facebook in a comment or something.
Now I've given you my email because that'll make it public, Dory. Don't do that. I'll give you my email. This email that I'm giving out.
Yeah, you're right, Awesome. It's the jigsaw puzzle of us. You know what I mean? Like, that is our jigsaw puzzle. There's all parts to it. There's a bit of a swampy bit down the bottom, and there's like storm clouds up here, but there's a nice beautiful tree, a couple of dancing fairies in the middle. You can look down into the swamp if you want to, or look at the storm, but the fairies look pretty good. We make it, our decisions in our lives are not based on what happened to us in our life. They can lead you to make a decision, but if you sit and think a lot before you act, and you realise what sort of person you are, you can literally decide, that's not for me. Hello, Terrier. Terrier, sounds like a fancy wine. I'll have 2 glasses of Terrier.
Yeah, people come into, well, the old saying, Awesome, people come into your life for a reason. They come into your life when you need them. Some stay, some go. We are all teachers and we're all students, so yeah, life's pretty interesting.
And my philosophy is very simple. We are all part of something very wonderful. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Because our energies are enormous. They're not skills, by the way. They're inherent in everyone. You know, the reverse happens. Like, if all of us walked into a room and there's just somebody in that room that's got all this negative energy and they're down on everything and complaining and I don't go anywhere near them.
The wind's picked up all of a sudden.
Yep, that is the secret. That's the palette on your canvas. Awesome, is that you paint bright colours all the time. You don't go anywhere near the dark ones. There's no need to, because you're happy with the palette of colour in front of you. Other people's misery is not ours. It's sad. And you can give them empathy. But don't give them sympathy. Sympathy is reserved for very important people in your life. Empathy you can give, which is your way of saying, I understand the difficulties and I'm sorry for your loss, or I'm saddened by what happened. But you certainly, if you trip over that line from empathy to sympathy, you now have a investment taking place. I'm sure you know what I mean. You end up with an investment that you really think I shouldn't have invested in after a while. You're very kind, Orson. Yes, emotional vampires is a good description. It's more like when people are in a dark hole and you can just see their fingertips coming up from, all you can see is their fingertips, but you can hear their voice. It's like, it's really terrible and I'm miserable and can you help me? I will always lean down and I'll put my hand into the hole and take the hand and say, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll lift you up out of there
No, to your knees.
and put you from your knees to your feet, but I'm not walking for you. But if all they want me to do is come down into the dark hole with them, I won't do it,
Yes,
because sharing misery is not an answer.
when you're
Empathetic?
empath, I can't say it. Empath. No, that's not it.
Empathetic.
It's a different word.
Well, there's either emphatic, which is not that, or empathetic.
No, you pick up on people's
Empathy.
you pick up on people's feelings and you feel it, and you've got to learn to understand the feeling, accept the feeling, but not take the feeling on.
Ale bacon. I find that I can, and YouTube is one of the great examples for me. I can walk into Awesome's room, and it's tickety-boo, and it's going along, and then somebody, and I'm not mentioning any names, and I don't mean to, will just say something, oh, I'm having this tough, and it's like, will all you please focus on me? All of a sudden there's been this generalised conversation, good banter, and then it's like someone says, can you focus on me? I have a miserable existence. What are you guys going to do about it? You know what I'm talking about. It's not who I'm talking about, because there are many of them. But it's like they want to share their misery.
Yeah, someone said it before, psychic vampire. That's so true. Like, they take your energy, they zap you till you feel like, oh my God, why do I feel so drained? Everybody has that. You walk into a room or a shopping centre, or you walk into a party and think, ew, I don't belong here, or, oh, this is great.
I've sat in on many therapy sessions and listened to people who are very clever in manipulating a conversation. What do I mean by that? Well, they'll try and turn their wrong into the light, and it's a misunderstanding. And I'm thinking, and I listen, and I don't say anything. In the end, I say, would you like me to respond to what you said? And they go, yeah, sure. And then I cut them down into flames, because a lot of what they're saying is trying to justify their behaviour. Now, you see what I just said happening on YouTube all the time. Someone will be horrible, basically, and then try and justify that behaviour and shine a light on it as if to say there's nothing wrong with it. Well, you have to stand up as an individual, knowing clearly that it's wrong, or you are part of the problem. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you condone, you try and make the person who is awful exemplary and say that, you know, he's not so bad, and well, you're part of the problem. In fact, sometimes an enabler, is what I'm talking about, can be worse than the subject matter, because they become codependent to that person's behaviour.
The Society of At-Risk Plants Rescue Service.
I already know where Awesome is being sentenced for planticide. She will be living the remainder of her life in Antarctica,
I knew it wouldn't
where
take,
there are only penguins and no plants.
I knew it wouldn't take long. By some of those names. Oh my God, that's so cool.
I didn't see Society, but hello, Society. But you do need to stand up, because the reason why I say you need to stand up is because your values are important. Penguins are very cute, Dory. But if you don't stand up for your values and you listen to someone who's painting a picture which is not true, you are also part of the catalyst for the problem.
It's all right. Awesome.
Like painting a picture that's not real and going, okay, it's not real, but I'll go along with it. And I always admire people. I'll give you a good example. Coates did a hangout today. And if one thing that Coates is he expresses himself honestly.
Yeah, sometimes not
So
good,
it's like
but
sometimes the truth is not pleasant, but he expresses himself honestly. So they're his opinions and they're his honest opinions. And I admire that in anyone. Whether it may seem harsh, rough, a little bit attacking, it's still the truth.
yeah, sometimes he's just got to learn. Yeah, amethyst. Amethyst is very good to help, and you always just bubble yourself before you go out, because that's what I do. Put white light around you or whatever, so the negative energy of shopping centres don't get to you.
Shopping centres are so funny. I often have a chuckle. I'll be going up an aisle, and there'll be some old lady, she's got a trolley, and then she just puts it sideways in the aisle, and she's looking underneath that shelf. And I'm quite patient. I just sit there and wait. And they say, oh, sorry, that's all right. Then, of course, I'm going the opposite way down the other aisle. And there she is in the next aisle. Trolley pushed over to the right. Oh, salt. And I said, I've met you before. Oh, sorry. And some people drive trolleys so badly, they have accidents. This bang, crash, whatever. And I'm thinking, I hope they got a bus here, so I don't want to see them on the road.
Oh yes, the plant life is safe. I've taken care of that, and we're also looking after the cats as well.
Yeah, I understand what you mean, Kathy. My first instinct is to say, get out the way. But I think, okay. It's a little bit of my time. But there's this old lady. I haven't seen her for a couple of weeks, but she's the one that always says, can you get that down from the top shelf? I think she's checking my ass out. That's what's going on. I'm thinking, you don't really need cat food. You've got no cats. What's going on here? But you can bring a lot of positivity into the world. Like I say, I reiterate, I'm repeating myself. I haven't even got a van. We are all part of something very special. There's nothing to fear. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when. Why am I only half seeing society? Is it because of his name? I'll show you. It's only half coming on.
Oh, I don't know what that's.
I think the name being so long is cutting off
Is they're asking
the
me
text.
to be in cooperation for the safety of the plants in the Hooker residence.
There is no foliage in South
Yeah, no,
Carolina.
We've taken
It's been
care of all that.
napalmed. Yep, she'll be coming here for hard labour. There'll be pig poo, cow poo. If I can find camel poo, we'll get that as well. She'll be digging and turning it over.
Yes, and she'll be taught. Seeds will be her
I
teacher
will mentor you in gardening.
and her guide. So
I do literally. I kid you not. When my plants are growing, I'll take a chair out there and a coffee,
that's all right. Awesome. We'll get you here by.
and I'll look at all my plants. Oh, there's a bit of a dag on that one. I better take that off. Oh, saw a fly.
Awesome. We'll get you here by.
I'll look after 'em. Hard to feel sympathetic as much depth in that. Well, I mean, I would feel sorry for anyone that's probably coming near to the end of their life. I'd give them empathy. But in that case of the particular person, I'm not interested. Not in his mother. I mean, I wish her well. But he has no kudos. He has no credits. YouTube is a bit like a credit card. You have a credit score, and his is 0. So if his mother passes away, that's sad. Probably sad for the rest of the family. But as far as he's concerned, he's a narcissist, and it's really of not that great deal there'll be a shawarma feast straight after. So,
Oh, I didn't know his mum was in hospital. That's not
no,
good.
someone just said,
Please, yeah. Oh, Kathy. Oh, okay. Kathy's the lawyer. I'm glad, Awesome. You've got a
objection
lawyer.
overruled. No, we spoke about that particular person before, and he will end up very alone, miserable. And look, he looks, I'm not kidding, I look 60. I'll wear that. But he doesn't look much younger than me. Kathy said, sustained. Objection. Would the two lawyers please come to the bar? Right,
Yes.
you two. I want a scotch and coke and a Bacardi and rum. He did say come to the bar. But life is for fun. It's for love, as in your closest people, your grandchildren, your children. It's for having a good time at no one else's expense. I can have a ball just watching the grandkids mucking about, like in the pool or down the park. There's no money that can buy that. A smile on their face when you interact with them and catch and kick the ball, and you know, they're all wonderful things. They're big rewards. But some people don't value other people's. Like, I enjoy my kids getting enjoyment. Do you know what I mean? And my grandkids being enjoyed. Where some people are only after their own enjoyment. Very selfish. And that's not why we're here. We're not here to be selfish.
No, but sometimes you help people, and that's well and good, which we do. Family, friends, or whatever. But then there also comes a point where when do you stop? Or
Whoa,
when
Dorrie,
do
too.
you walk away?
So then can I call you Granny, Dorrie? I won't do it now. Oh, look, there's 2020.
I have
Oh,
two
look, there's
grandkids.
Granny Dorrie.
Oh, cool, Dory.
No, we got number 9 coming in January. All looking forward to it. It's wonderful. We've got family all over the world. We've got family all over Australia. We're very fortunate that all of our 5 kids live in the same state. It's a big state, though. Section 10, subsection 2. Deciding the cat does not have sufficient evidence to understand. Oh, that's right. You already got my granddaughter, Jada, from high school. Oh, that's wonderful, Dorrie. There's sort of things you mustn't miss. It's like kids' sports days. Pouring down with rain, cold. We'll be there.
The cats have been rescued.
Oh,
Oh, the sirens.
here comes the planticide squad.
Yep.
You can hear because it's got magnolia bells ringing. Hear that?
Check it. See if I have an awesome hooker's place yet, Roger. We got it surrounded. You can't get out.
Oh,
It's a lot of reasons why gardens fail, and I said that to Awesome a long time ago. A lot of people with seedlings overwater plants, and one thing plants can't do is have a saturation of water when they're trying to just get going. So most people lose their plants between the first 6 weeks. You've just got to keep them moist, not flooded. It's been a bad flu season in Australia. We've had, in my state, 300 deaths from the flu, and that's about 4.5 million people. It's higher in the eastern states. It's been a lot worse. Terrible. Which normally what follows is that if we have a terrible flu season, and I'm not wishing it on any of you, but the statistics show that you guys are going to have terrible flu season as well. Ours is nearly finishing. Generally finishes at the end of winter. Most people catch their flus at the end of spring and summer. But we had 300 deaths this year, so that's in the first 6 months. That was the stats that were given out. So, and there was horrendous weeks, if you know what I mean. I can just see a T-shirt being made. You realise that? Awesome. We all know that none of us are having a go at you really, but I can just see a T-shirt being made. Just think of what the words would be on the T-shirt. I can again think of the obvious. Plants matter. To be like a million of those T-shirts. Plants matter. Actually, awesome if you're clever. You do one of them T-shirt thingies. Plants matter. And bees. We've lost too many bees. We're fortunate we have wild bees in Australia that do a lot of pollination for honey and plants and crops. But our domestic bee, which was introduced, by the way, numbers are terribly down, terribly. There's, farms where people just produce honey for 50, 60 years, no bees, gone. No honey without bees. But bees are more important than the honey. That's a secondary byproduct of what they really do, and that is propagate plants. There you go. Plant life matters. Someone will do a T-shirt. I'm guaranteed that there'll be one sent to Austin. Plant life matters. Are you putting the kettle on? We can't see your hands at the window. There we go. There's a nightly ritual to scare people. Either that or she's replicating a scene from the Titanic. Yeah, the world's changing, there's no doubt about that. And look, in my lifetime I've seen things change, the weather, climate. I don't think it's meant to happen that fast. I think we're supposed to live our lives with very little change, but I've noticed the change. Yeah, Dinah, make you a T-shirt. Have a cuppa and I think then we'll go to bed. If our grandson lets us. He'll say, "Whoopa, can you stay up just a little bit longer?" Righto. Yeah, I was starting to hand pollinate probably 2 years ago. Tomatoes, chilies, the good thing about most plant life in Australia is not only the bees that pollinate. Where we live, we have billions of ants. So whenever you see ants in your garden, if they're not bothering you, don't bother them, because they can also pollinate. And they do. They collect nectar, just like bees do. Not to the extent that bees do it very well. But yeah, I always, particularly my heirloom tomatoes, I will hand pollinate them. Irregardless, I want to make sure I'm going to get the most out of my garden, if you know what I mean. It's like when people plant corn, they make the big mistake. Most of the time you see about one row of corn going about 50 feet, you're thinking, that's no good. Because what you need is the tassels when the wind blows, so you've got to be in a cluster. You can't really do a corn in your garden unless you're going to have at least a 9 by 9, 9 rows, minimum, 81 plants. Because the tassels will pollinate nearly everything. But if you have a row of corn, a lot of people grow corn as a windbreak. Well, that works out well. But they will often say to me, why didn't I get any corn this year? I ask them how they grew it, and they'll say, oh, so I've got to put them in at least rows of 9 deep, like 9 square. And I say, yep. Yeah, I've already got the bail money organised. It's 42 billion Boit dollars. Of course, I print the money, because I'm the treasurer of Boit money. So whatever it takes to get her out on bail, that'll be sorted out. Just send information to my people and my people will get back to you. We'll send her to the colonies. Flies, crocs, water buffalo, sharks. Welcome to Australia, Awesome. I don't think Awesome is even here anymore.
She had a knock at the door.
Ah, travelling salesman.
She could be getting ready to open the shop shortly.
She could be. She normally tells me that I'll close mine. You didn't get a packet of filters, did you? No, doesn't matter. I'll take an extra one. That's good. We'll be finished. It's called The Dressmaker by Kate Winslet. Yes, yes, very good. A lot of good scenery from old country towns in that one too, Dory. And it would have been a bit like that. Women fighting. Shh, I'm hiding. Well, you're not obviously hiding under any plans. They'll find you. Any one of them lead things, blanket, put over the top of you. Yep. She does quite a lot. Nicole Kidman does a lot of Australian movies that aren't released worldwide. They're like for domestic markets. She's always been good that way. And I stood next to Nicole recently, and her wax imitation has a nice ass, but she's very short. She's a bit down here. Mind you, Tom Cruise, same height. He's only that big, Tom Cruise. If you like that one, Dore, look just on YouTube. Look for A Town Called Alice. Alice, as in a name, but it means Alice Springs. But A Town Called Alice.
A town like Alice.
A town like Alice, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. She's in a Blanky Fort. Yeah, you'll like that one. What was
Town
that?
like Alice. My mum's an extra in that, Dory.
John, not
You
John.
won't know her because you don't know what she looks like.
Do you remember John Waters and Sigrid Thornton in that? Was it called Rush? Do you remember that? There's an Australian sort of bushranger type TV series called Rush, just R-U-S-H. That was good. That was in the 70s. That was a pretty good show. Gives you a sort of a taste because Australian colloquial history is completely different. I mean, we had our Wild West. Someone's in a really bit of banner straight away. That one there. Yeah, Nicole.
No.
The gamer starts 14 hangouts. Spits the dummy. I said hello in 3 of them. No, she closed all 3 of them.
That's because you weren't in it. Didn't want to deal with
No,
publicity.
she was having problems with something. I don't know what it was. But I can't get into gaming. It's like my grandkids and my kids, they say, come on, play. I don't play. Oh. What? What do I do now? And they go, oh, you do this, and then they kill me. I'm thinking, this is not fair. So I stick it up your bum. Go back in the garden. Now, that's what I was going to ask you, Nicole. Most people that are good cooks and like food generally grow something. Are you thinking of growing something? And you can say, oh, we don't have much space, but you do have a little bit of space. Are you going to grow some produce? Because you nearly missed the boat. I mean, it's coming to the end of the season in the UK, a couple of months. You grow the easy ones, because I know you use them. Chilli, garlic, spring onions, all the stuff you use. Ginger, if you want to. I want to grow chilies, but I don't care. What sort of statement's that? Mrs. Remember what part I don't know if was Nicole in A Town Called Alice? I don't think she was.
Huh?
A Town Called Alice. I think Dory's asking.
No, Dory, I said...
I don't think Nicole was in that one.
No, my mum was an extra in it.
Oh, yeah, you won't. Out of 100 people, thousands, you won't see who
Well,
she
not
was.
just that, but no one knows what mum looks like,
Yeah.
so you aren't going to pick her. But no, I don't know who played. I can't remember who was in it.
Man, that sounds like a workhouse. Awesome. What do you get to have? Vegemite on toast?
Okay, and then you'll open up after you've done all that awesome. Wow, that sounds yum.
You've always done that, Dory. When you've misspelled something, you've always thrown the extra letter up. You've done that ever since I've met you. I do it as well. I think, I better put it in because they won't understand. All right, awesome.
All right, Nicole.
What? Nicole's?
She's got to go. Her mum needs her.
All right. She probably needs you to go in the garden, get some fresh chilies.
Awesome will open the room up once she's finished brekkie. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine the breakfast you've got to cook. Awesome. Sounds
Yeah.
good though.
So you'll be up at 3 in the morning, finishing at 7. I'll actually do, when I get my garden started, I'll just do what we call a firebox,
Okay.
which
awesome.
is probably about 2.5 foot long by 14 inches wide, and I will grow heaps of stuff, chilies, tomatoes, herbs, all in one box, and show you in just a little space what you can grow for your kitchen garden. Garlic, chives, not onions or potatoes, nothing like that, but basil, parsleys, all sorts of things that you can grow in a very small space amongst each other. Cherry tomatoes are wonderful because they actually run it late in the season. The smaller the tomato, the longer the season. And everyone knows tomatoes ripen from the bottom up. I've had cherry tomatoes growing, they were tomato, and they grew about 25 feet long. Kid you not. There was all this dead branch going all the way up along the trellis, all dead, and where the tomatoes were, it was all green and tomatoes. So just because the bottom of your tomato plants are dying, that's natural. If it's still extending, it's still not dead because it's still feeding them moisture and nutrients. What's your soil like, Dore? Is it friable or is it a bit clay or does it get waterlogged? I mean, it might sound crazy, but the best soil to have to start off with, sand, bog-like. Lots of work when you've got boggy soil because you've got to add fibre that could be in the form of, all sorts of things.
Oh, you could find some fossils when you're digging around there, Dory.
Yeah, I will show all of you. I'll actually deliberately do a series of growing plants from seed because it's a wonderful experience, that tiny little thing turns out into this magnificent thing. And I don't buy seedlings. I grow my own seedlings because it's part of the art of gardening. I'm not having a go at any, trust me, because I know you walk past the garden centre and you'll see $1 for a tray of whatever, and you grab it. But there's a great joy in growing plants from seed. It's the most critical part between a seed and 6 weeks. After that, you're pretty much right. And in the Northern Hemisphere, I've taught a few people how to start chilies and tomatoes really early inside their house, facing a south-facing window, so they get that light. And they could be up to 8 to 10 weeks old, about this big, 2.5 feet high, say a chili bush. Then they plant it out in the garden when it's warm enough, it explodes. So you can, under circumstances, even if it's cold outside, it's not going to be that cold inside because that's where you live, and plants like your temperature. Food orchid, yeah, I'll be doing a bit. I've got a request of blueberries definitely going in. Lemons, definitely lemons. We can grow bananas here actually. Might grow a few. And that corner down there gets sun most of the day. Yeah, seaweed's wonderful stuff. Making what Lewis is saying is it's a compost tea. It can be made out of lots of things and it's brilliant stuff. give you an idea, even just the basic, like a handful of horse shit in a bucket. G'day, yeah, man. And you just put water in there and you break it all up. And then for about 2 weeks, it's ponging a bit. It's going on the nose a bit. You just stir it around every couple of days. And then you get the liquid out of there. Just put it through a simple filter of some sort. That is unbelievable stuff. Compost tea, what Lois was just saying, is like a fire in the belly of a plant. You don't use it all the time. It's one of those things, one of the best times to add a compost tea to your garden is when you start seeing flowers in your tomatoes or beans, all right? And you feed it this compost tea, it goes hallelujah. It's brilliant stuff. You don't need me to teach you how to make compost tea. Just put it in YouTube. There are thousands of people that can show you. It's very simple, it's very effective, but it all starts with one thing: crap. Crap is gold. But I'll particularly do one for people that have very little space. I'll do a little, I call it firebox, I call them, which is about 14 inches by 2.5 feet long. You can grow a lot of food in that. Lemon tree I grew from seed 4 years ago. I don't want to disappoint you, Dory, but lemon seeds probably came from a grafted plant. So a hybrid is most lemon trees these days.
Yeah, if you know
You'll
where
get a plant and it'll grow all green
it depends where
and
you
it
got
will
the
never
seed from.
flower. Well, if it does flower, you won't get any fruit. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but that's how it is. They designed it that way on purpose. People like Monsanto and DuPont don't want you to be able to pull a seed from an apple or a lemon and grow something. They want you to buy it off them. Look, it's not always true you don't get fruit from a seed from a grafted lemon tree, but it's likely, is what I'm saying. It's
No.
like when you get seeds from a hybrid, say, tomato or pumpkin or whatever. They're a hybrid. They've been pre-manufactured at genetic level. They grow well and you have a big pumpkin, it tastes great. You save a seed from it and plant it, something grows but it doesn't look like a pumpkin. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got all these cross genetics. That means the seed is not true. And you'll hear these words from me many times. True to type,
Yeah, the tree.
which means I grow a parsley plant from seed, it grows, it sets seeds, I save those seeds. When I plant those seeds, it's the same damn thing.
because yours,
So true to type.
because yours are, what's the name, aren't genetically modified.
No,
Lemon trees look nice either way, you're right, Dorothy.
there's one behind me. Our daughter bought me those. And she kills everything as well, because when she bought, we didn't know, we were on holiday, we come back and there was 2 brown sticks sitting over there. And she said, oh, I watered them once.
No, but it's because the wrong trees were getting watered.
Yeah, still, good check. So they're a replicant. That's probably now 3 months we've had them. And I can keep them alive just using water. But gardening's not hard. You need to have a passion in anything. And Nicole summed it up then. I really want to have it, but I can't be bothered.
No, because you've got too much on.
No, I know, but I mean, it's
Yeah.
one of those things, if you have a passion to grow produce, none of it's a problem. What veggies, I think I have ever grown. Yeah, a lot of the things I always tell people is, first of all, make sure what you're damn growing, you eat. I had this guy for years, I couldn't convince him. I said, why are you growing artichokes? You've told me you don't like artichokes. He says, the bush looks good. And I'm thinking, well, fair enough, but everybody can grow, but there are just simple principles, like in painting. There is a principle base start. Then you do, and you layer, and then you end up with a finished product. Everything's the same. You have to apply yourself to something, but you have to have the passion to do it. I love growing food, so I'm there. I've always had this symbiotic relationship between I love cooking and I think I also like growing the stuff that I'm cooking.
That judge is yours. Mine's gonna die.
I don't know. Take it. Just use it.
Awesome's about to open up anyway.
Yeah, we'll get off in a second. But I am passionate about growing good food. I mean, when you see, it won't be till next year now because we've got this house construction thing going on. But in my garden there will be tomatoes this big. There'll be tomatoes that big. There'll be chilies, hot, fiery hot, mild, paprikas, you name it. I'll have it all growing. And I will harvest as they ripen. And if I'm not using them straight away, I'll teach you how to save them. If you're only going to use, like tonight I made a stir fry and I had extra capsicum, or peppers as you call them. And I thought, well, I'll just chop it all up and I'll put them in the freezer. But because I'm going to use them this week in something else, I didn't blanch them. I just cut them, put them in a plastic bag in the freezer. If I wanted to save them for a long time, I get a big pot of salted water, boiling, put them in for about 30 or 40 seconds, take them out, drain them, let them dry, then put them in the freezer. That way they're protected from things like freezer burn over time. That's for everything. When I see mushrooms on special, I'll straight into a pan, it'll be a little bit of olive oil and it'll be a little bit of butter, and I'll get them sort of like buttery mushrooms, not completely sort of cooked all the way through, but I make bags of it. Yeah, you can. Mushrooms like that type of soil, but it needs crap on it as well. Mushrooms must be fed. Actually, one of the best things for your soil, if you know a mushroom farm near you, Dory, is to go and ask them how much a truckload of old mushroom compost would cost you. Usually it's cheap. And they can just layer it on the land where you are. Just do that for 3 or 4 years on a, say, a 40 by 40 square foot. And just keep doing it and then dig it in. Yes, it'll be tough. And then eventually you'll throw maybe some other manure on there, whatever. So prep for the next 3 or 4 years, just prep your soil. It's like cooking. You know, you can have some of the ingredients and make something that looks something like what you intended to cook. But if you have all the ingredients, you end up with the product you always wanted. Gardening's no different. Gardening and cooking are very similar. Is that there's preparation, there's care to take, weeding. Don't weed in cooking, but you know what I mean? So they're very similar, very symbiotic for me. Pulling out fresh garlic, whatever I need. It's like with lettuce. Lettuce grows like that from the inside. So I always I have about 7 or 8 lettuce grown only, all different types. I'll take that leaf. From over there I'll take that one. And then before I know it, I've got a salad full of lettuce. But I've still got the lettuce growing.
See, good
A lot of
idea.
people go, and cut the whole damn thing off.
Well, unless they're going to use it all. Good idea, Dory.
What?
She's got a neighbour down the road who's got horses. She can knock on the door,
Oh yeah.
get free crap, and make new friends.
But it doesn't matter what part of the land you use, but if it's an area that's not the real boggiest, but it's not good, if you apply all that material over a number of years, it will work. You know what I mean? You might end up with still a daggy spot over there, but no, I haven't solved everything. It's a case of you might need other material, like you might need to bring in straw. Straw is something that
Mix
breaks
it in
down
with it,
over
yeah.
hundreds of years, so it takes its time, but it's a binder. In other words, with your bog, if you mixed it with straw, you could build mud brick homes in your spare time.
So you could make 2 plots, start 2 plots so that each year turnabout use the plots, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's what I do.
if you-
Another good tip for that area,
If
if you've got
land,
chickens,
yeah.
right, weeds will grow anyway. If you fence a whole area, put half of it, you put a fence in the middle, let your chooks run around there, they'll nibble all the weeds and crap at the same time. Nibble, nibble, crap, nibble, nibble, crap. When that's finished, you put them over the other side of the fence. They're doing a great job. No chickens. All right, get some of them plastic ones. Or get one of them. But I used to do that with my chook pen. I used to have, it was about 20 foot by 10, 20 by 10. So only 5 foot by 20 foot. That's where my garden would be. So after I finished harvesting everything, I'd move all the chickens over to this, and they would eat everything, and they'd crap everywhere. During that process, where they've crapped over here on the other side, I'm raking, furrows, planting, all the plants grow. When they've finished their season, chooks go back over there. It's for me, it's just obvious. Like, let's use the chook poop, and you can't use it straight away. But if you wait 6 to 8 months and the sun hits it and it dries, and you rake it in, and particularly with chickens, I always put straw in their nests. So when I clean out their nest, that just goes on the boggy bits of the lawn. Or wild turkeys. We've got wild turkeys, but we're not allowed to shoot them. We're
They're
protected.
mainly up north.
They're huge, by the way. Anyway, I've bored you enough, and I know Awesome won't be too far away. She's just cooking for 600 people at the moment. An army at Awesome's place, 400 sausages, 3 pigs, basted on each side, 400 loaves of bread. Boys eat a lot. But she'll be opening a hangout not in the distant future. So hang around and wait for her to come on. But from me, it's good night.
Good night. Love yous. Love yous all.
And we will catch up again. Have a great day, Dory, and everyone else that's here, because I don't get to see all the messages. But have a great day. Make it happen. Until then, I'll see you next time.